Hey guys, it's Christian here back from CNH Smalls, and I'm doing another video update for the rifle I previously made, the Ddi underfold rifle I got here. I got it back here yesterday from Ddi, so I'm going to do a review because I had to go online and on their website and make a warranty fill out for. I basically had after I talked to the guy Steve down at Ddi. He told me to go online and make the warranty. Just basically fill out the warranty statement for the gun, because you get a 3-year warranty with the gun after you do that for that, as long as you fill out all the proper areas and issues and stuff like that, like where you purchased at, the date you purchased and stuff like that. And since this gun was a replacement for the previous one that I sent back. The original one, if you're not familiar with the case, the original one was sent back because of issues that I found with it. Like the biggest problem was it looked like the barrel had like brown spots, or like kind of like weird scratch marks down here by the gas port area and stuff like that. And it looked like somebody before they shipped the rifle out just like went absolute bananas on like spraying the entire inside the receiver with like some kind of a heavy cosmoline like type of brine. It almost looked like molasses basically, and it took me a couple hours to clean out all the crap down inside the guts of the receiver just to see how the gun was going to function. And even the bolt assembly down inside it was all caked up practically, and I had to basically scrub that thing out and brake clean everything else to see if it was going to even cycle okay. Then the last thing was I cleaned out the barrel, and I found to a surprise, the barrel had debris down in there. It looked like some kind of debris, like some kind of rust or brown spots that I could not really tell what they actually were. But they sent me on their rifle, and I made an update about that. The underfolder would not lock in position, so I sent this new one back down to them, and it was down there for a couple weeks, and I got it back here yesterday afternoon around 4:30 from the Ups guy. And I got it back here, and the underfolder looks like it's working okay. I actually cycled it about 15 times here, so I'll prove that actually works here for you guys. Move it a bit more. Okay, there we go, like that. And it works. The button pushes in okay. It rotates down. You can see it rotating down. Locks in position. It has a nice metallic ring to it, like it's really tight in there for it. So it doesn't have hardly any wobble at all. Maybe about a if you measure it, I say about like an eighth of an inch wobble to a teeny bit, and they're not hardly any at all. But it is working better now. It actually clears the magazine, so I just want to prove that as well too. You fold it up all the way. See, hold this better your shoes. There we go. Up, clears the magazine. No, it's not binding up on a magazine at all, and they're for that. So. Let me see, we'll do it better here. Yeah, it clears perfectly on the magazine on both sides. Make sure it's up all the way. Locks in position. It's got this teeny bit wobble, but the safety, you can see on the safety side here, it doesn't have any binding on the safety mechanism at all, and they're for that. So it definitely clears. If you look down the axis of where I said they look down the receiver side, and you gauge, it looks almost identical on both sides. Let me flip it back down here again. There we go. Clears magazine, I said before, perfectly. It's about, I'd say on each side it's about a little bit less than 3/8. The other side's a little bit smaller than that, but it definitely clears. And it locks in position, you see right there. Back part locks in. That works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always try to do at least 5 times on there. So it definitely works good for me now. See that nice metallic sound. So it's good to go for that. I put my Russian naval sling back on the naval, or the black style one here for that. So it's all decked out in Bakelite right now. Bakelite handguards. Bakelite magazine, Tula Ridgeback on here, and they also got a Russianish mash Bakelite trigger or pistol grip back here as well too. So it looks relatively as it should be, rather than having one of those Tapco stocks and all that other shit like that. So looks good. The sights look okay on here. I don't know if they reset them on here, but it looks like somebody moved the sight post over to the right. Even though I was up the range last time, it was shooting about 4 or 5 inches to the left, and that was at the 25, and at the 50 yards, it was shooting about 6, almost 5.5, 6 to the left, and up about an inch or two at the 50-yard area as well too. I also got a new muzzle brake that I didn't have any time to test out because it's been raining off and on over here for the past couple days. This is a Jet 4-port. This is their newest one they have on for the left-handed thread. This is a 14. What's it at here? Metric 14mm left-hand thread. Jet 4-port, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 3 ports on each side right here. Plus we got 3 ports on the top as well too for keeping the gun from jumping up on you. So it'll basically practically nullify a lot of the recoil and stuff like that for these guns, because the AK 7.62x39 does have recoil that like most M16s or even the AK-74 doesn't have. So this brake is actually a step up from the typical AK-74 style brake out there for that. I think this brake is slightly better than the typical 3-port, because Jet has 2 different versions. They have a 3-port and they have a 4-port one. This 4-port one, the newest one they have, I bought this off of Circle 10 AK's website a few weeks back. So it definitely looks good, fits on the gun. It's all the way down. Basically, it's almost flush with the front sight post tower on here. So it's tight fitting. It doesn't have hardly any wobble at all on the threads on her for that. So looks good to me. Let me see what else I can talk about here. Let me see. There was something else I want to mention. I'm going to do that. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the way they put the AKs together, but I'm not a genius, or I'm not an expert by any means, so I'm not going to say or refuse to be one. I just like the gun overall myself and stuff like that. It's relatively cheap to shoot, and it's relatively accurate if you're shooting at close quarters combat, because I can't see too far at myself anymore, because I'm not 16 or 17 anymore. So there's one other thing I want to mention. I almost forgot about it. Right here, where they have pins on the trigger assembly down inside the receiver here. Let me see, get a better shot. These pins actually wobbles a teeny bit here. I don't know if that's normal or not, but if somebody out there is more knowledgeable than me, if you have like multiple AKs, I got multiple AKs, but this is the only AK that I seemed to have this like little bit of teeny wobble in it. I don't know if it's out of the ordinary, if it's going to cause a problem in the future or whatnot, but the back one has, I don't think it has any wobble. All I'm saying pushing the other side, but I did notice the first one, the front one where the trigger is on here, it does wobble a teeny bit. If basically if I push on the rear one right here, the rear trigger assembly pin right here on the right hand side, if I push it on the right hand side just a little bit on here, I can actually push it in back and forth on the other side right here. I don't know if that's going to be a problem in the future, but my other AKs don't have that thing. See, I can push on it with a pretty amount of force, and it doesn't seem to be budging at all. It just moves in and out, probably about as thick as this screwdriver, or the screwdriver flathead piece right here. It's a very relatively small amount right there. The second one up here in the front, this one also wobbles in and out. There's a teeny bit too. Let me flip that around. There we go. Just flip it right there. How about that? This one, I can actually push it. I can actually push it in and out. You can actually hear it wobbling. You hear it. It's just a teeny bit. I'd say it's like 1/30 seconds, or I'd say it's about 1/30 seconds, 1/64 inch of play. I don't know if that's normal or not. I'm probably gonna call up Ddi Ak maybe on Monday and ask him about that and see if that's normal, or I'm just gonna have them just link it to the video here and just show them the video on there and see if they think it's normal or not. But I can also push. You fucking damn thing. Let me get that thing first. Let me see if we can put this thing in the other side too here. One of my Sam 7s, if I push on the front one similar to this one, it does go in and out, but it's not as, you can hardly notice it at all on here, but, let me see, push it again here, you probably hear it. Let me flip it around, see if I can do the other side, see if it'll go in and out just a teeny bit. There we go. Let me get a better picture for you guys. Now I'm talking about the front one right here. The front one right above your trigger guard right here. See, I can push it in. It'll basically right now it's about 1/32 above the flat surface of the receiver's wall on here for that. Now I can push it in. It'll basically become flat with the receiver right here. I know it's going to be a problem in the future. See, I can push on with relative pressure on here, and it won't budge after that point. So I don't know if it's something to worry about. I'm being OCD, compressive compulsive, I don't know. But other than that, let me see here. So everything else looks okay in the gun. I believe they test fired it, and I think the last thing I wanted to ask somebody more knowledgeable than me about the firing pin protrusion, because I was checking my other AKs. I got a couple other AKs out there, the Arsenal SGL 21s with a free floating firing pin. On my other Sam 7 SF84, it has a spring-loaded firing pin in there as well too, in that version. And that one, I was checking the firing pin protrusion, and it seemed to be a lot less than this one right here. This thing hangs up in the back. This thing, get out of here better. This thing, it doesn't fit. That's what you want to call it, tightly. The other one did. Let's get this thing out of here. There we go. It's probably as tight as I got paint on it, so you'll see I got a little bit of wear on there. I'm not gonna worry about that. It's just really tight fitting there. It looks like they repainted the entire gun part of back on here. Whenever I got out of the box here, I just want to make a note of that as well too. When they actually fixed the mechanism here for the locking mechanism on the back, this entire spring assembly was covered in some kind of like a grayish metallic, I don't know what you want to call it. It almost looked like sand, some kind of sticky sand, and it was basically they had sticky sand down inside the receiver's guts down here as well too. I spent probably about a half an hour cleaning it out because the entire receiver down here had all kind of debris down inside. I put brake cleaner all through every damn thing down here for that. So I just want to make a note of that right now to have it on file that I did see that down there, but I did clean it out and it's relatively in good shape now. I don't see any debris on it other than it's a small bit on there for it, so that shouldn't be really any problem. The next thing is the bolt and bolt carrier on here. Let me see what I was going to say. The bolt carrier looks okay. Doesn't have any wear issues on there for that. The bolt itself right here, I just want to ask somebody online if they knew about firing pin protrusion, if somebody could help me out here with regarding that. I think online, I went to a couple websites that was actually talking about like pop primers and just like pierce primers as they call it, I should say. And the guys online said if your firing pin protrusion is too deep, it will pop, or it won't pop the primers. Popping the primers actually makes the whole primer pop out of there. Pierce primers should be more technically referring to as. If you look at the bolt face on here, I was actually checking my spent casings. I had the rifle up at the range the last time I was up there, and I was basically comparing them to my Arsenal rifles, and even my brother-in-law's SKS that I gave him, and it looked like the primers were indented by maybe about a half portion deeper than the typical Sam 7 SF and the other SGL 21. I don't know if that's going to be a problem in the future, but it wasn't to the point where the firing pin was going so deep where it was causing like a little like a dark brown black carbon ring around the firing pin's actual hole area for that. But that's something I'm probably going to be worried about maybe in the future, because I got a warranty, extended warranty with this thing. And whenever I get this thing back here, originally after they supposedly, made me a new rifle and stuff like that, you should be able to hear this thing rattling down inside her if it's in good shape. And I don't know how many. I think they tested and fired at the factory, and they actually sent me a video, and it was about, they put like 10 rounds through it. And I got it out, and I took the firing pin out of here. I can probably take it out right now. They have a little piece of let me see, I can shove something through. I probably don't have nothing to put that through there. Let me see, we got something here. Hold on. I can get one of my picks over here. I can probably pop that out real quick. There we go. Try to show you guys some things that I didn't like about it on there. Let me see, what else can I mention here? Okay. Everything else looks okay. Down inside the receiver, magazine looks okay. It has right on the ejector right here. There's one little nick right here. Most people can, let me see, I can show you here. See on the left side of the ejector right here, it has a little nick. I don't know why that's there, but there's a little nick right there for that. Modern AKs have it, but it's not as pronounced right there as well too. Let's see here where. In front portion here, right in front, well, right above the bullet guide. You probably can't see it. Sorry about the lighting down here. I'm just gonna get a better picture. Right down here, there's a little nick right here as well too. My other AKs don't have that nick, but some AKs do have variations where they wear more than others. Since these guns are basically a Bulgarian import surplus parts kit with a new receiver, new barrel, and stuff like that, new tap good trigger. So let me pop this this firing pin out of here so I can do this one little punch. Okay. I want this thing screwing up here. This thing's not the right tool. That's what we use for this thing. Push it up real slow. There we go. Okay, I got enough of that, so it should pop out of here. Don't want to damage it. There we go. Put that down over. Put it right there. I'll put it right there. Get off there. Okay, there we go. Now I cleaned this thing out thoroughly. This bolt myself here when I got it back here yesterday afternoon, and whenever I got it here, the firing pin, you can see right here in the taper part right here. If your firing pin goes too deep into your primer on there, it can cause, like I said, pierced primer issues. And by doing that, it sends a hell of a lot of hot gas right back onto this taper part right there for that. And I know that because I got SKSs and I had that problem, and I switched over to Murray's new updated 2014 firing pins, and it basically solved that problem. And also you got stone face the face of the hole itself and countersink the hole, and it basically solved that problem. The AK is slightly different than that, and sometimes you might be able to reprofile your front piece on there for that as well too, to drop down the firing pin protrusion. I looked online, like I said before, it should be below, I think, 0.065 or 0.060, somewhere between 0.050 and 0.060 for good contact with the primer area for the bullet. This one, it was a little deep on the side, but it wasn't completely causing a problem yet. I just want to make a note of that right now again. And it looks like the hole where the firing pin goes through as well too is slightly enlarged, so I just want to make a note of that as well. I don't have my other AK here because I got something to say and I didn't really want to bring it out of here. So I just want to make a note of that. And anytime you take your bolt apart like these things right here, it's always a good idea to blow it out with some like brake cleaner, and stick those real big Q-tips you can buy at like your Rite Aid, thrift drug or something like that, down inside the firing pin channel down inside here, and just soak it and just blow it out with some brake cleaner, and just put a cotton swab down instead of run it back and forth down inside the tapered area, and basically it should clean out all the crap down inside if you have any. So you see what this thing looks like, man. It looks relatively good still, so I'm not really worried about it. I'll make another video whenever here after I take it to the range and test fire, because I still got to re-zero the sights on here and make sure everything looks okay for that. So let me put it back in here and get it lined up for you guys. You always want to make sure that your firing pin goes in. I'm holding it this way, so basically your top lug is facing downwards and your bottom of the bolt's facing downwards as well too on the side horizontally, so it's easier to go in and slide in and out for the specific size. So just put it in like that, horizontally flat. Alright, let me see. Make sure it goes in just like that. Line it up. Make sure it's nice and flat. Then get your pin out again. Looks good to me. Put it in. Make sure it looks okay on both sides. Let's realign it again. Make sure it's realigned flat. You don't want to damage your firing pin. Looks good to me. Make sure it's all the way forwards. Then just push the thing in down as you normally would do. Just make sure it's all the way fully seated into the top of the bolt head itself right there for that. So should be able to retest it again. Should be perfectly fine. You should be able to go up and down like that, having no issues, whatnot. So it passed the shake test I called there. So you can put it back in the gun. Everything else looks okay. Reassemble your bolt, put it back down in there, rotate the bolt up forward, and bring it over again like so, and that's how it goes in your gun. So whenever it locks up in the battery, it rotates around again. And we'll put it back in there again as well. You can always better just put it down here like so, so it slides in there easier. Make sure it's aligned. You don't want to damage any parts in there. Just have it lined. You want to have it in there right about there, and you just pop it down, push forward, get it over top of the rear parts. See, it's all the way forward. You can see the bolt right there. Your bolt's firing pin is basically vertical. Then when you push it forwards, it rotates just like that, so it's locked in position for you guys. The last thing, just put the recoil assembly back in there. Get the dust cover. This thing's tight fitting on it. That's why it took me a bit to get the thing on. It's a bit tight fitting on there. I'm not going to complain, but it's basically import parts on some of these things like this. So just put the thing down here. Just want to have it lined up properly. You pop it down just like that. So no problem. And last, make sure the magazine's okay. The magazine looks good. I got silver bearings. I got silver bearings in this magazine right now. So always be safe. Put it back up on safe. This thing's nice and tight. I really like how tight it is on the safety mechanism on it for that. Just retry your magazine. If it fits in there okay. This magazine has maybe it's a teeny bit of wobble. I'm not going to complain as long as it functions okay. And lastly, as I said before, everything else looks okay in a gun right now. I will make another video for the arranged test fire again, because hopefully I'm gonna take it to my cabin here sometime one of these weeks, upcoming weeks, and I want to put maybe about 3 or 4 magazines straight through it and just see if it's gonna function okay. And if it functions okay, I'll make another review video about it. But as of right now, I'm satisfied, except for the 2 things I mentioned, the 2 pins right here and the trigger assembly. I just want to make a note of that again. This one pin right here does wobble a bit. I don't know if that's normal. I'm not a builder of AKs. As I said before, this thing does wobble in and out just a teeny bit. Back one, just a teeny bit less than that one. So I'll make a note of that right now. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about this gun or about any something similar to it, you can contact me here, and I'll try to answer any of your basic questions about stuff like this, and I'll try to be as helpful as I possibly can. Okay.